We only grow natural corals, native corals at the coral nursery for outplanting, and we try to replicate the natural assemblage of species that occurs at those sites. So we're not going to introduce species into areas that don't naturally occur there. And we will try to recover them back to what it used to be, 30, 40, 50, 100 years ago, to the best of our ability. When we transplant corals out into natural reef environments, we have to acclimate them, because in the coral nursery, it's like being in a five-star hotel. They're given all the best food, the best lighting, the best water conditions. They're given lots of tender, loving care, and together this allows these corals to grow at a fast rate. Once we put them back into natural waters, what ends up happening is that growth rate slows down, and we have to slowly acclimate them back to the not pristine water that we have surrounding our shallow water reef environments, the wave action that occurs, the intermittent light, the presence of sediment and other things in the water. So we slowly acclimate them over a period of about a month to the prevailing conditions at the outplant site. And we carry them out on suspended platforms that we can swim out to the site, slowly lower them to the bottom, and then we mix up a type of two-part epoxy that has been shown here in Hawaii to not negatively affect the corals to any discernible degree. We know that this epoxy will not affect their reproduction, which is one of our chief concerns. And that's, by the way, is one of the reasons we're putting out these larger corals, because at these larger sizes, they are reproductively active. Remember that we're fast growing them in the coral nursery. But once we put them out into the wild, they go back to the same growth rates every other coral in Hawaii is growing at, which on average is about 1 centimeter a year. It's amongst the slowest growth rates of corals anywhere in the world. And those slow growth rates make it very hard for reefs to recover naturally from human impact. So that's why we're giving them a little bit of help. As we put out these modules, what we expect to see is changes in fish biomass, fish numbers, other invertebrates. It's the basis of a healthy reef. It's like having trees in a forest. Once you have the trees in the forest, it provides shelter and shade and all the conditions, food and nutrients that can support a wide variety of animals, birds, and insects. Well, in the ocean, it's the fish and the invertebrates and the plankton. And that's what we're hoping to do by placing out these large coral colonies. With these outplants that we're doing here and the status that the nursery is at now, we're ready to start scaling up into full production shortly. We're hoping once we get up to full production at the coral nursery, once we upgrade the nursery with the newer tanks and the newer systems that we're hoping to place into it, that we can produce about 220 large, that's 42 centimeter pyramid modules a year for outplanting.